So we have a new way to talk about the SEC after what we saw just this past weekend. It was an upset Saturday of upset Saturdays, including probably the best upset of the last decade at least, with Vanderbilt knocking off number one Alabama 40-35. 33 points scored by the Vanderbilt offense. And then, we had that other turnover. Jalen Milroe reverts back to being the Jalen Milroe that he was at Texas last year. And now we have a Vanderbilt that is no longer a cellar dweller, but a for real SEC football team who is convincingly getting too good. I would be shocked if Vanderbilt does not finish the season going bowling this year, which would be remarkable. I'm also really shocked about what Arkansas was able to pull off against Tennessee. Shock probably is too strong a word. I'm overjoyed, right? If you're picking that game, you're probably picking Tennessee based on what you've seen from Tennessee, what you've seen from Arkansas. But Arkansas picked up what Oklahoma was doing defensively, laid it back down, and did one thing that Oklahoma couldn't do. They took care of the football. And they had a quarterback in Taylor Green who got them most of the way, 19 of 26 for 266. And then Malachi Singleton got off to a rough start, but he quite literally got them over the line. And then the defense brought it home. Travis Williams, who'd been maligned all last year as coach zero coverage, zero blitz, he had it coming, man. Like they went after Tennessee. And when Tennessee tried to throttle back and just run the football for fear of turning the ball over, giving the ball back to Arkansas, they continued to go after them. And there was at least one play where nobody was lined up at Arkansas's defense because Tennessee was going fast, and they still sent 6, and they got home. It was fantastic. Following that, 4 of the top 11 teams in the country fell to unranked opponents. It's been a while since we've seen a Saturday like that. This weekend feels a lot like 2007 is coming back into vogue. Arkansas's first win against a top 4 team since 2007. Vanderbilt's first win against the number 1 team ever. 60 opportunities they've had to play against number 5 or better teams, and this is the first time that they've been able to do that. Diego Pavia is not going to pay for a drink ever in Nashville, and Nashville is a really cool town to be a hero in, and that's exactly what's going on for him. What I found interesting about this is the fallout, right? So we got the field rush, which depending on who you are, you think it's low class, but it is both dangerous and thrilling, like joining Hinge. You never know what you're going to get, and you're probably going to hold your breath while you see all these people rush onto the field. But then when you get your match, get a fire, everything's alight. People are feeling no pain because they've been properly lubricated, if you will. You tear down that goalpost and you march it 3 miles down to the river because, hell, you got it like that. You are 6'5" and bulletproof, or so you feel. You are probably going to remember this forever. I have a friend who actually, he graduated from Vanderbilt. He's not a football fan until last night. I had told him a couple weeks ago at a wedding that I attended, or I guess it would have been a week ago. His sister's getting married. And I said, hey, man, Vanderbilt's not terrible right now. He's like, RJ, don't you talk about this stuff for a living? You know better than anybody else. They're terrible. I'm like, I don't know about that. Like, what they did against Virginia Tech, what they showed against Missouri, you might go to a game. So he went to the Alabama game on my say-so, and he texted me just as soon as he could get his cell reception back going, oh, my God, you were so right. We're a football school now, and he's got all these videos that he's sent me, a couple in particular, of what that night was like. And I told him, it's an heirloom now, man. That you got to put that where you can find it because this is going to be a conversation everybody wants to have with you. There's not a place in the country that likes college football where you're not going to be able to talk about this and pull this out and walk people back down memory lane to what is a really cool inflection point in college football where a lot of things come together. The transfer portal, name, image, and likeness, it's all working to help bring about this sort of activity. And it was perfect for the Commodores, right? Meanwhile, Alabama got beat by Cornelius, not Kirby, not Dan, not Sark, Cornelius, but not before, just before Arkansas beat up on Josh and Smokey. Smokey! You know what I'm saying? Like he had him in the chicken coop. You know what I'm saying? had him saying, break yourself, fool. If you know what I'm talking about, you know what I'm talking about. So Arkansas pulls off this win, and one of the questions that Holly Rowe asked at the end was about Sam Pittman was, how you feeling? And he's going, I'm so happy for our players. I'm so happy for the folks that are here. Not sure about how the AD is going to feel about the field rush, but you know what? I don't know, and I'm not sure that I care. Well, I know because Hunter Yurchek was like, no, I am happy to pay it. Sam's been catching all sorts of noise, which means he's been catching all sorts of noise. They needed this win for Sam, for the program, to feel as if they got a shot, and they do. Like, they really do. They're a good football team. I hope Taylor Green is okay and can come back because they're rounding into the kind of team I thought they could be, which is ceiling is what Tennessee is. They should look at them and see a mirror. So because Vanderbilt stormed the field, rushed the field, they got to pay a $100,000 fine according to SEC rules. Because this is another court rush, field rush for Arkansas since like 2023. I want to say last year it was Duke. They have to pay a $250,000 fine. But the SEC of it all is that money just doesn't go to the conference, right? Like, say, distribution for television revenue. They got to pay, Vanderbilt's got to pay $100,000 to Alabama, and Arkansas's got to pay $250,000 to Tennessee, which I genuinely think is funny because you're trying to make everybody feel good about getting upset inside the conference going, we're going to hold hands, we're going to sing Kumbaya whether y'all want it or not. I think the thought behind this is, again, the SEC wanted the universities and the universities wanted each other to develop strategies to dissuade fans from field rushing. But it's like trying to dissuade your homie from joining Bumble, Match, Hinge, the league, because he is desperate. But, sometimes it works. And when it does work, it's a story that everybody gets to tell. It's a story that everybody wants to tell. As going through it, though, it's not really that much fun. So if I'm Arkansas or I'm Tennessee, I'm probably going to spring for a billboard just outside each stadium, or as close as I can get to each stadium, that denotes the amount of money that we paid to you, and we'd like you to enjoy this as you spend it on name, image, and likeness to get you better players because you clearly need them as a score, and I would reflect the score on the billboard, 40 to 35, Vanderbilt over Alabama. We're going to raise the banner. And then 19-14 over Tennessee because, yes, you need it more than we need it. The petty with all of this is awesome. I think we should continue to talk about field rushing, and God, we got 4 field rushes in the same day. It's not going to stop, right? Just like people are not going to stop, joining the apps, as it were. And we're going to come back around and we're going to see these things and we're going to talk about them. I mean, people still talk about Michigan, Appalachian State because it matters. When ULM upset Alabama in 2007, it matters. We love an upset because it's not supposed to happen. It's not supposed to be possible. So much of this sport is predictable. When it isn't predictable, we're having the most fun. And that's what Saturday was. It was the most fun.